Hello, my name is Edward Hood, and I am the founder and CEO of Mass Address Incorporated. In this video, I will expose a multi-billion-dollar industry which specializes in the buying and selling of your personal information. You will learn how this system works and how Mass Address is the only solution to stop it. I also want to point out the fact my corporation is still bootstrap funded, so I could not hire a professional animator to make this video. I did the best I could. Every year in America, over 40 million Americans change their address. These figures come straight from the U.S. Postal Service Office of Inspector General. Experts in the industry believe those numbers are a lot higher, but we do not have records to support these claims. According to Pitney Bowes, the mailing industry spends $20 billion a year on undeliverable as address mail. You're about to find out why. Pitney Bowes has also stated that people move at the rate of 12 to 17% per year. Only 60% of movers inform the United States Postal Service of the move in a timely manner. So if organizations are sending 1 million bills or promotional mailers a month, they will receive 90,000 move notices per month. Worse, some 60,000 additional customers and prospects may have moved without providing notification. In America, you have a number of options at your disposal if you move and need to change your address. The first option, which less than 1% of Americans take, is contacting every business or organization who has your old address on file and providing them the new one. Most Americans are unaware exactly how many businesses or organizations they have given their address to during the course of their stay at their old address. This is because of the rapid means of communication the internet offers and the instantaneous flow of information. Since most Americans do not do this, the U.S. Postal Service was forced to create a database to handle all of the mail which organizations send to old addresses. This database is known as the National Change of Address Database. The NCOA database contains the names and changes of address for over 160 million Americans. I'll get back to the NCOA database in a few slides. The second option for changing your address involves filling out a change of address form at the U.S. Postal Service, either in person or online. Filling out this form is optional, but as you will see in the next slide, you're not going to receive your mail without it. When you fill out and submit this form to the post office, a record is created on the NCOA database. When you fill out a change of address with the post office, you are accepting their terms of service and privacy policy. It says, your information will be used to provide you with mail forwarding and change of address services. Collection is authorized by 39 U.S.C. 401, 403, and 404. Providing the information is voluntary, but if not provided, we will not be able to process your request. We do not disclose your information to third parties without your consent, except to facilitate the transaction, to act on your behalf or request, or as legally required. Now, I'm not going to read all of it, but I do want to point out one sentence in particular. To individuals or companies in possession of your name and old mailing address as an address correction service. Information will also be provided to licensed service providers of the USPS to perform mailing list correction service of lists containing your name and old address. Did you catch that? To individuals or companies already in possession of your name and old mailing address. I'll let you think about that for a moment while I continue. Do you remember the National Change of Address database I was talking about earlier? Well, here is where it gets ugly. Once your change of address record is entered into the NCOA database, the U.S. Postal Service sells access to your data to companies called list cleaners. As of November 3, 2017, these are the only companies licensed by the U.S. Post Office to sell your information. They are known as full service providers. A full service license costs over $200,000 a year and gives a company access to 4 years of address change data on 160 million Americans. Before the post office built the National Change of Address database, undeliverable mail costs exceeded $1 billion. However, according to my research, it also generates $1 billion in undeliverable mail every 4 years. It's cyclical because of the number of people who drop out of the database and the lack of paying businesses who receive those updates. This system is outdated and fuels identity theft like wildfire. It's a broken system. The post office cannot control who gets access to our address data. In 2014, the Office of Inspector General released a report stating security controls over change of address and NCUA-linked data do not protect customer information. As you can see in the lower right hand of the graphic, I have highlighted an item of interest. Do you see the blacked out part of the document? I did not black out that word. That is how it is shown in the report I downloaded from the internet. My guess is they blacked it out to keep the web crawlers from being able to parse the string data when people conduct searches online. We do not know what word is behind that blacked out area, but I can tell you it's probably protect, based on the context. The Inspector General also found some of the NCUA link license agreements lacked necessary provisions to protect customer data. Now at this point, you may feel overwhelmed with the amount of information I am sharing. So I put together an animation to help you understand the process. Here is how the current system works. A citizen fills out a change of address form with the U.S. Postal Service. A record is then created on the NCUA database. The list cleaners pay the post office and receive their full service license, which grants them 4 years of address data on those 160 million Americans. They then turn around and sell the data to other businesses. So this is a representation of those address updates that the list cleaners have. Only those who pay the list cleaners get address updates. On July 29, 2017, Equifax discovered a data breach on one of their servers. Equifax soon discovered over 147 million records of Americans' most sensitive data had been stolen. Those same files are now for sale on the dark web. Since Equifax has a complete address history on every single American with a social security number, those records can be purchased by anyone on the dark web. Because of this, hackers can create address lists of their own and send those lists through the list cleaners, just like any legitimate business, and receive move updates on 147 million Americans. LifeLock and any other identity theft protection service cannot protect you from this vulnerability. There is no system in place to monitor the list cleaners. So as you can see from this animation, hackers and legitimate businesses pay the list cleaners to correct their address data and receive move updates on those lists. This is a major problem for the Department of Defense personnel and government contractors. A few months ago, I discovered this vulnerability and I notified the Department of Defense. I also contacted National Public Radio. As of the publishing of this video, no one from the DoD or NPR's Washington office has contacted me. This is very disturbing. I honestly do not understand why no one seems to think this is a problem which requires immediate attention. My only hope is other Americans see this video and share it. Somebody in our government is bound to see it. Now I will share my vision and my software with the world so you can see how we can stop the unauthorized disclosure and access to our address data. Mass Address is a global addressing platform. It gives consumers and businesses the ability to securely change their address without third-party notification. It's a dedicated portal between you and your online accounts worldwide. Let's say the black and white buildings are businesses or government databases in which you have an online profile, like Amazon, the Department of Motor Vehicles, Verizon, and the Social Security Administration. These are only examples. You probably are unaware of how many businesses you have shared your address with online. I sat down and tried to remember all the businesses I have an online profile with, and the number exceeded 100 organizations. When the network is built, this is how it will work. You will go to our website and click on Change My Address. The next screen will show you two forms. One form will be your old address, and the next form will be for the new address. Once you click Submit, the software will validate your address submission and ask you to please check to make sure your name and old address are 100% accurate. From there, you proceed to the next screen, where we validate your identity using Department of Defense level authentication and security. When your ID has been validated, Maggie, or the Mass Address Global Interface, sends your change of address out worldwide. It hits every server in the network and uses an algorithm to determine if you have an account with that said agency. If you don't, they do not get your new address. If they do, your old address is immediately overwritten with the new address. It is 100% accurate because you were the one filling out the form. No third parties are involved. You don't need to contact customer service, and there is no need to remember countless username and passwords to log in to your online profiles and make manual changes. Maggie provides a dedicated portal to your entire online presence. So there you have it, folks. Now you know what Mass Address does and the problems it can solve. The best part about Mass Address is we do not keep records of those who change their address. When we finally roll out the service, I will allow federal, state, and local agencies to inspect our systems at any given time to ensure the public's trust. Thank you for watching, and please share this video. We need investors.